Hey, how are you doing? So it's Thursday today, recording this, and I'm 2 days late uploading my podcast, which my brain tried to give me a lot of brain drama around. The fact that I'm like, oh my God, I failed. I said I was going to upload every Tuesday. And then I've had like the roughest week of nights ever that turned into 8 nights instead of seven, because then there was an extra shift that I got booked in for. So all my plans about having to record a podcast just got thrown out the window, and I was hardly human until yesterday, Wednesday. I came back Monday night. I'm in Denmark now, and it's just been an exercise again, because it's so funny how as vets we think like, oh, I like we have this feeling really quickly that I'm failing my patients, I'm failing the pet owners, I'm failing the clinic, I'm failing myself if you don't live up to these high expectations. And how I have completely coached myself on that. It's rare that I have mind drama in the clinic. I still have it sometimes, of course. I just get out of it quicker. But how I've like happily carried that into like my coaching business, and I'm like, you didn't do the podcast this week yet. Oh my God, you failed people. I'm like, nobody cares, Gunilla. Like literally nobody have noticed, I'm sure. And if you have, then I'm sorry. And I am so happy that you are so dedicated that you noticed. That is amazing. No. But it was just really funny. And then there's so many things that have just gone wrong. So I didn't bring the whole part of my mic that goes into the MacBook. I didn't bring the adapter for my microphone. So the sound might be a bit off. I hope it's not annoying. Brucey's on Netflix as well, watching some like soldier program that's really loud, and my chair is creaking. But I thought I still want to do the podcast because I still have a lot of stuff to say, right? And then the podcast from last week uploaded fine, but when I went to put it on YouTube, YouTube was convinced that this was not app for children, and I don't know what button I had clicked on, that they just took it down. They were like, "This is not app for children." I'm like, surely I could just have, maybe I swore a bit on it. I say the F word a lot, but surely there's more people saying that, and anyway. So there was just like a lot of like issues with the podcast these weeks, but I just really love doing them, and because I have so much to say, and I try to do reels on Instagram, and I am so limited by it can only be so many seconds, because then people scroll away. Because I admitted, when I'm on Instagram, I am not in I want to learn a ton of like really deep stuff. It's more like, oh, cats. And there's a woman I really recommend you should follow. What the hell was her name? So she, see, now I'm swearing again. So she has a thing, you can probably Google her, where some influencer comes out saying some crap about, oh, skinny girls, this is how you should eat ice creams. Or some misogynistic guy would go like, well, I don't get why women. And then she just lets them say like maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and then she cuts them, and she has this deadpan face, and she goes, nobody cares. And then she starts talking about penguins or cows, because she feels like that's much more useful, no, than this like how to stay skinny and why women should just stay in the kitchen, no. And I feel and it's just goes to show, like, when like anything on social media has to be really fast, it has to be like interrupted to catch people's attention. So I use Instagram mainly to try and reach more vets that are scrolling, so with little short videos, and they're like, oh, I could actually think differently. Oh, maybe I could see this differently. Oh, I don't need to beat myself up, and then maybe follow me, and then they find the podcast, no? Um, but it's difficult to go in depth. So that's why I love the podcast, because I can talk and talk and talk, and you can just put me, if you're brave, on like 1.5 or 2 speed if you want to hear it quicker, or you could like listen to me while you're washing up, or I don't know, cooking or whatever, or driving. So that's amazing, and you can click it on and off again, right? So if you're doing something, you're like, or you realize this episode is not for me, then you can go to another one. So I love podcasts myself, and it's a great way to get new information and change the way of thinking, no, because you listen to other people's ideas. So I want to say like about this woman on Instagram. I think if you just Google like nobody cares funny videos, then you'll probably find her. And I'm really applying this like nobody cares lately, like literally, like with the podcast not going up on Tuesday, I was like, nobody cares. Like nobody cares. Or, if you haven't washed your scrubs and they're a bit dirty, and you go to work, like, oh my God, I'm going to work in a dirty uniform. Like, nobody cares. It's going to get dirty anyway. And so on. So I really try and apply that to yourself. Like, nobody cares. Like, so your brain starts like, but what about this? What about that? Like, nobody cares. I really love that. Um, okay, so what I wanted to talk about today was, I had a session with a vet the other day, and she was talking about, we were just supposed to have a short session, because I'm reaching out to vets to try and, how to say this. So me being in this coaching industry and the whole like mental health, emotional resilience for years and years and years now, and I've read a ton of books, podcasts, and I speak to a lot of coaches and therapists and healers. And we just tend to have this language. It's a bit like us vets. We tend to have a language that normal people don't understand. So coming into the coaching world and working on it so much, I tend to have a language that I don't want to speak in a way that I forget how it is before you get into this, right? So the language I had before I became a coach like 5, 6 years ago, I don't want to forget that. So that's why frequently I ask, like I put on social media, and feel free, I would love for you if you want to do it. It's just like a 20, 30 minute conversation with vets where I ask them, what is your challenge right now? What would you want to do if you could? And so on, like just to hear your words back to me so I can use those words when I then talk. So I'm not sitting here going like, well, the self-awareness is really important and your amygdala, like, because people are like, I can't relate to that. So we were supposed to have this short conversation anyway, and then she just offloaded so much. She really, really needed to just offload and tell me everything, which is also amazing. So we were like speaking for an hour and a half, and I'm just fascinated by everybody's stories because it's funny, quote unquote, interesting, fascinating how we all come to the point of being, super anxious. Our self-confidence drops and our motivation drops, but it's all through different channels, no things that happen. And she had a complaint against her, and it was like it ended up being different, like when people like end up meeting up in groups on Facebook and then they are like against that happens to some vets and it's horrible. And then obviously her license was in danger because this went to the medical board, like the veterinary board or college or whatever it is, and that was like hanging. And then her kid had been really sick, and this specific complaint, because it had been about surgeries, and she hadn't actually done anything wrong in the surgery, but it was just like, one of these stupid complaints. And it had affected her. So she was really stressed about the whole, like her license thing, the kid being sick, this and the other. And there was she was a practice owner. So she was stressed over like some of her employees. And then there was also this, like, because there has been a complain about surgeries. Now, every time she would book days, like specific days for surgeries, and she would be so stressed the night before because now I have bitch face and all the things that could potentially go wrong, which is quite funny because the complaint wasn't actually about anything that went wrong. It was just like a random stupid thing. And it wasn't actually a fault that she did. Not, actually, nothing had gone wrong. But her brain now, because a complaint had happened, just wanted to like preempt all the horror scenarios. Now, and she was talking and talking and was like, you can just tell the anxiety coming through. And I, at one point, then I said, I let her talk because sometimes it's important, I think, for me as a coach to just sit there and just listen and not interrupt. And I think that's one thing I've learned as a coach is I used to be like the really annoying person that would interrupt and say, yeah, yeah, but have you heard what happened to me? Or this happened to me, just like, so I don't interrupt people with like my story. I think that's really valuable in a coach that we can just listen and just without judgment and then maybe ask some questions. And that can be so freeing, just that. Um, and then in the end, I said, like, but notice like how anxious you are right now, and you're actually sitting down and you're just talking to me. Like right now, none of this has happened. None of this is happening right now. You haven't lost your license. Nobody has bled out or died. There's nobody bleeding out right now. You haven't got surgery in front of you right now. Your kid is safe. You're not interviewing any employees right now. So all the worries you're having, they're not happening right now. Like it's not here right now. And you just see her shoulders just come down. I was like, this breath out. And she's like, oh my God, yeah, that is so true. But I'm telling you, like, when I tell it like that, you're like nodding and saying, well, of course it's not, because she was talking to you, so it wasn't happening. But our brain doesn't know the difference. So if you're panicking about the complaint you're having, somebody that's sick, your relationship, cleaning you need to do this weekend, whatever it is, like your rota for next week, you're not clear. And your brain is like presenting it all to you in this big, like, pot that is just stirring all these things. You don't really know the difference. Like your nervous system doesn't know the difference of this happening right now or actually something that you can just deal with whenever. So if your brain is doing that to you and you're allowing your brain to take over, I just want you to notice if right now, for example, you're in a state of anxiety because you've got 1,000 things going on, just notice that out of those 1,000 things, like how much is actually happening right this minute that you're listening to this right now. How much is happening right now and how much you actually don't need to worry about. Like, what is the upside right now of thinking what you're thinking about, what's worrying you? So I, for example, have a tax bill coming up in April, I think it is, April, May. And I don't know exactly how much it's going to be. And I don't know if I have enough money for it. I'm going to have to push it on to next year because I've had some big expenses this year. Um, and so I'm like thinking about how can I make like money, and like I'm doing some courses and I took some extra shifts, and but I don't think about it all the time. But I had to have a lot of coaching on it. Like I'm in this like money queen thing because I really need to work on my money mindset. I think when you're a healthcare provider, whatever it is you're doing, when you're like nurse, vet, doctor, whatever it is, we just don't have a lot of us don't have a really healthy money mindset. A lot of the people I speak to don't have it. Even if they have money, a lot of us are not good at administering it or feeling good about charging and all that, or we really tend to just worry about money. And even if we have it, no, and I noticed definitely the difference in me. If a big bill would be coming up, I would come through the door and I'll be like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And actually, like right now, nothing's happening. The tax bill may be coming, and I'm kind of preparing for it. I'm not like just going to ignore it, but I don't have to think about it all the time. I don't have to lie awake thinking of all the horror scenarios of if I can't pay this tax bill. No, I just deal with it whenever it is like, and I just like try to do something about it, but I don't have to worry about it. Um, just like anything in vet med, no, and if you, so obviously I do emergencies only, so when I come in, I don't really know what's going to happen, but sometimes the staff will be telling me, oh, we had this patient and we sent it home, like a diabetic cat that's not really controlled, or a seizure, and it went home, but it might come back, and they start telling me all the stuff about it. I'm like, you know what? If they call, I'll just have a quick look at the history and it'll be fine. Don't tell me, because I don't want to try and preempt. Like the more histories they give me from patients that I might potentially see, like my brain is going to try and start solving for all those problems, and they're patients that might not even come back. Like it's very rare that those cases they've told me about actually call back or come back in, no? Or they might be telling me, oh, I got this one waiting and this one has got this problem. And all I want to know is like, if there's anybody waiting and anybody, have they been triaged? Are they safe? Is there anybody that is really urgent that I need to see that can't breathe or bleeding out, right? So, but I don't need to know everything else. I just take one at a time and I deal with it, because I know that if I fill my brain with all these worries and all these cases and all these patients that are coming in, my brain is going to try and start solving for it without even having seen the patient, right? So I want you to be very, very aware when your brain does this, when it's just filling you with tomorrow, this is going to happen, and then that's going to happen. And do you remember like this person said this to you, and can you deal with that? Like it's not happening right now. The only place that's happening is inside your head. It's only in your head right now, and you actually have control. As much as it doesn't seem like it, you do have control over what's happening in your head. And you can use the nobody cares if it's something like, oh, I failed because I forgot to send an email, like send it tomorrow. If it's not really important, you can say, actually, that's just in my head. It's just me wanting, let's say like you didn't get time to clean your house perfectly before we have visitors, or you forgot to buy something for some dinner. Like it's like nobody cares. It's fine. It doesn't matter. And if it's a bit more important, you can also say, I don't have to worry about this right now. This is something for tomorrow. Like find some phrases you can say to yourself that work for you in a way that you can kind of get control over what you're thinking and how much urgency you want to give your thoughts, and how much importance you want to give those thoughts, and what is the upside of thinking about this right now. Is do you need to think about it right now? Like that fear of losing our license if we have a complaint, okay, but until you lose it, there's no need to worry about it. Like when you lose it, then okay, then you'll have to do something about it. Of course, if you have a complaint, like in that moment you answer it and you answer the questions, but then you've got to let it go, because then it's not happening anymore. Now it's just happening in somebody's office somewhere, as and when they have all the data, and then they will come and answer to you at some point. But you worrying about it in the meantime is helpful to no one. So you don't have to to worry about it right now. It's not helpful, and you're stressing your brain out, and your nervous system doesn't know the difference. Right. So it's like you're reading the complaint over and over and over and analyzing it over and over and over, and you really don't have to. Um, so that's the one thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about. And then the other thing I have noticed is, so I've had a few consults lately. So a consult is when you guys reach out to me for a free session and we just see like where you at, what's happening, can I help you, what's going on. And then after the session, I then send you like an email with, okay, so these are actionable steps you can take. Like in your case, I think you want to start setting some boundaries. This is how you do it. Have you looked at your priorities? Do you want to like learn that? And for your time management, if it's time you're struggling with. So I'll send you like a few, this is what we saw in, this is what we addressed in the coaching session, and this is how I would help you with it, and this is how you can start now. And then if you want to work with me, then like, and then I send you the details. No, and then you can decide what you want to do. Like, fine. And I have noticed a few that have then said, well, I think after the coaching session, they then decide not to work with me, which is absolutely fine. There's no pressure, but I can see there's more vets coming to me that have already decided that they want to leave VetMed. And because my coaching session is to help you find what you want to do. Like, so a lot of people come to me and they're stuck. And I want to help you get unstuck. And whatever you want to do right now, just do it. Like, find out what you want and then do it. And then they find out they actually want to leave. In which case, then some of them choose not to have my coaching because they're like, when I'm going to leave, I'm going to feel great anyway, which could be debatable, but maybe it is. No, maybe changing the environment will help. So I think, especially for the female vets, which is like vast majority of the people I speak to, I don't know if you noticed, and there's a saying, and I think it's actually pretty true. So when a woman in a relationship uh, decides that she's had enough, like she will be like doing little things like reading about how to have more sex with your husband and how can we not like have arguments and this and the other. So she tries little things, and then but the day she says to her husband or her partner, whatever, that we this is not working for me. I want a divorce or I want to break up. I'm thinking of breaking up. No matter what the other person does, like this that ship has sailed. Like once you say that, the ship has sailed and you can then go to couples therapy, but now your brain is like it's on another level. It's going in a different path, right? And I see that over and over. Like once that happens, like that relationship has broken. And I feel in VetMed, once you have decided that you want to leave, once that's your inner desire, then it's a bit too late to get help to stay. I feel like if you if you do work to stay in VetMed as coaching or get therapy, or you take a little break or you go down part-time or you do something, you do some changes, right? Because you want to stay in VetMed, you do have to have a certain desire to stay. And I guess my wish for you is to reach out for help before it gets terminal, quote unquote. And it's a bit mm, we can actually what do you say, align this, we can compare this to our patients, right? So some owners are like, oh, the dog is really ill, the dog is really ill, the dog is really ill. By the time they come to us, it's like the kidneys are gone or the heart, or they got like tumors coming out through their ears, right? They waited too long and then they went to the vet because they wanted to wait until it was really ill and then justify now I should go, right? And then it's too late and we can't help them. So you starting to think that vet med is a bit too hard for you. And then the equivalent of the owners giving the dog garlic, raw food, non-grain, salmon oil, coconut oil, supplements, and doing all that by themselves before they come to us and then it's late. The equivalent is you only like maybe listening to this podcast, we've got it's amazing, right? That's a big step depending on where you are. But let's say you're fairly coming to the edge of the veterinary profession, you're really doubting whether you want to stay or not. So you're doing things for yourself and not getting help from a coach or maybe a therapist or another program or something. There's a ton of programs out there, and I always like whatever worked for you, right? It's like you're not getting that help is the same as the pet owners, over here wanting to do it by themselves before they get to the vet. And I know in VetMed we are incredibly independent, right? We are so fiercely independent and so resourceful. We're so used to doing things by ourselves, unless we have to refer. A lot of us happy to refer to others when it's a case we can't handle anymore. But in general, we are really independent and we're incredibly resourceful. So it feels like almost like a weakness. It feels like independence is the only acceptable mode I can be in. Like me sorting myself out is the only way, because as as soon as I seek help, then I'm not really handling it anymore. I'm not really good enough. I'm showing that I'm weak. I'm showing that I'm not made for this. So that's one issue I see. Like people not seeking help until they have actually pushed themselves so far out to the edge that like once you make the decision, I don't want to change the decision. I'm not here to change anybody's decisions. I'm here to help you find out what you really want to do. But I think it would be incredibly helpful if you could come to me at an earlier stage, which is what I have done with quite a few vets. You know, like they were like, I don't know if I should leave or not. I'm giving it a last shot, right? And then they end up staying. But if you've already kind of decided, but then somebody says, oh, you should try Gunilla and see, and they do it kind of a bit like, okay, let's see, just to kind of confirm I really want to leave, and which is fine. Like I'm absolutely fine with helping you deciding that you want to leave. I just wish that that wasn't the majority of the vets that come to me. Because honestly, like it'll be like somebody needs to stay, right? And express the bloody anal glands. So another thing, and that is people, and I think this really, and I want to address it because I want you to think about if this is you. A lot of you don't reach out to me, and I speak to people, and I'm like, but like coaching would be amazing for you, no? And I think there's two thoughts here that stop people. So one is, I am fundamentally broken. This is my mindset is like, this is just how I am, how I was born, the trauma I have. This is the way I am. This is the way I'm built. This is the way I function. So I am broken or I am impossible to fix, quote unquote. Not that we need to fix anybody. We just need to like reframe a few things. So I cannot, so even so coaching is not going to help me because like how do you help something that can't be helped, right? So that is one thought. And another thought that stops people as well is that the system is broken. The profession is just too hard. Like coaching can't fix something when the system is not working. And I agree. You know, I say this, the veterinary profession is hard. We're not selling sex toys to happy couples, right? We're not selling donuts in a bakery to little kids, but that doesn't mean that we cannot learn tools to deal with it, right? So it's like Batman is always going to be difficult and hard, but it's also going to be incredibly fun and rewarding if we can just deal with those things. So one thing doesn't exclude the other. Like yes, it's hard, but I think there's too much talk about, oh, the system is broken, or the corporates are taking over, and now we can't be happy in VetMed. I mean, I work for corporates and I'm pretty happy. I work nights as well, to be said. I don't do the day-to-day thing, because my brain just gets too bored with it. I've been in the profession like 22, 23 years now, so I need new stuff, no? So if you're thinking that it's not worth looking for help, first of all, then you're like, that means I'm weak. That means I'm asking for help, but then there's something wrong with me. No, like fuck that. That's a bit like that's the owners not wanting to come to into consultation with their dog because they're worried the vet is going to tell me that now it's gone too far. Well, it is gone too far because they left it too late trying to fill it garlic and coconut oil. You know what I mean? And if you're thinking, I would really like, I just don't work in vet med. This is not me. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm built different. I'm neurodivergent, whatever it is. I can't do this. I'm too nervous. I have too much trauma in my past. Like, no, like that's not true. Like, it's not, that's not a thing. Like, nothing can make you not, how do you say? I don't even know how to say it. Like, there's nothing that can stop you from working in vet med if you work on yourself. That's what I want to say. Like, I don't know, missing legs, missing arms, maybe, but still, people get around it. Or if you think that the system is too broken or it's just too hard, I also want to say, no, it's not. It's hard, but it's not too hard. Like, too hard for what? Um, and then another thing I see, and I was speaking to another vet that has she has other programs, like it's different, it's not coaching, but it's also like self-care stuff. And like about us as professional investing in ourselves. So you know how we always are mad at owners because they either don't have pet insurance or they don't wanna they haven't saved up and they are like, then they're complaining about vet med being too expensive and how they don't want to spend the money on their pets, right? And we are complaining about them. But I want you to notice how little money you spend on yourself. Like how little you might be willing to invest in yourself. But why is that? And that comes back to the money issue I was talking about before as well. And that could be anything. Like my coaching is not inexpensive. Like coaching is not cheap and will never be cheap because it is like a very exclusive service and that goes a lot into it and like the value is insane. But even like therapy, if it costs you between 60 and 100 pounds of dollars. Like people are like, but it's too expensive. And I'll be like, but you go out for dinner, like you do these things, but why would you not invest that in your mental health? And I think a lot of us don't want to invest that money because of the other thing I said. No, like we don't want to show that we're weak. We don't want to show that there's something wrong with us. Like that's not a thing. We should be independent. And also like, well, I can't be fixed anyway, so why would I spend the money, right? But that's not, I just want to say that's not true. Um, like coaching can absolutely fix whatever's going on. Like I mean, I didn't end up killing myself, but I was certainly burned out and felt very broken when I left VetMed. I had to like leave for a year before I came back. So if I can do it, I know exactly like what's going on for you. So like if I can do it, you can do it, right? Um, and you thinking that investing in yourself or kind of like stopping yourself, like feeling like it's somehow like self-indulgent or it feels like selfish to spend money on yourself. Maybe you look at your family and you're like, oh, but I could buy this and this for my kids instead or whatever. Like think about in the long run, if you invest in yourself and you become emotion resilient and you get that mental awareness and you can go, nobody cares, and you can go, their opinion doesn't matter to me, my opinion matters to me, or yes, I made a mistake, I owe up to it, I'm so sorry, I effed up, I'm trying not to swear now so YouTube doesn't take this down. You can do that, but you can do that. You can get upset about it, and you can be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe what I did." But then you can go, "I'm so sorry, and this is what I'm gonna do to remedy it, and this is what I will do in the future to avoid it." And then you move on, right? If you can become that person, you can work as a vet full time until whenever you want, and nothing is going to stop you, right? And you get more experience, you get paid more. Like I get paid, I don't even know how many times more than when I first started out as a new grad. Also in Spain you get paid more in the UK, but still, right? I get paid a lot now because I'm a night vet. I confidently handle emergencies and I have a ton of experience and a lot of years behind me, so I get paid a lot of money. So if you can stay in vet med and you can be confident and you can negotiate your salary and you can learn without being anxious about stuff, and you are confident to try out new things, like that will make you a lot of money. So any money you invest in yourself, therapy or coaching wise or whatever you do, yoga or I don't know, breathing exercises, whatever it is like that can make you calm and confident and gain that inner motivation. So you get up in the morning and you're like, yeah, I want to go to work, I can do it. And of course there's shitty clients and there's shitty cases and you've got shitty days, but and that's always going to be there, right? But in majority, so you feel like you are on your right shelf by knowing all these things about yourself and setting boundaries and having your priorities right and being able to deal with any anxiety, being able to deal with complaints, mistakes you made and all that. And if you have a fear around some surgery or some procedure that once went wrong or you got like an unlocked fear from some other case you heard about, you can work through it and do it anyway and become better. That's going to make you a shit ton of money long term, right? Because you could do so much with it. So investing in yourself, I want to like really invite you to do that. And in any which way or form, like if anything that can make you happy and more confident, like I don't go to the hairdressers because my hair, but if you're a girl that really likes like having your hair done and that, like invest that money in yourself, because feeling confident and feeling like good about yourself is going to help you in the consult, whether like instead of just looking like shit. Now, if that's important to you, and coaching the same, no? And one more thing about taking the time for yourself to feel better, to be able to cope better on VetMed is like, I cannot justify taking that time. I don't have time for that. Well, let me tell you this. If you don't have time, and I've said this before, sorry if I'm like really getting at you today, I'm like ranting. But if you don't have an hour a week to coming on a coaching call with me or go to a therapist, I really think that you need to re-evaluate your priorities and you really need to learn to set better boundaries. Like you cannot let time be in the way of taking care of yourself, because then you are on the downward spiral and that will not stop until you're so burned out that you can't even like eat anymore. You know what I mean? So I was the same. No, I was on this like hamster wheel, and because the more anxious you get and the more you want to do better so you don't feel so bad, like the more shit you're going to sign up for and the more hours you're going to do, because now you don't know how to say no because you feel bad, and it just spills out, and then you suddenly don't have time for anything. And even if you had the time, now you don't feel like doing anything because you just like being making decisions all day that where every decision seems like your career hangs on it because you're not able to have a perspective and you lack the confidence to like see your decision through and be confident that that's the right decision, even if it goes tits up in the end. You can always say like, yeah, but I'm happy with the reason why I made that decision. Yeah. So this is my invitation to you to reach out to me to get a consultation to or join my, if you don't want to do that, like it feels a bit like, oh, I don't want to coach you. Like you can do the course and then like the vet med, the happy and vet med course, you can do that. You can join our retreat, which is in the first week of July. Coming with me and Chloe from Vet Yogi, you can come to that. I'll put the links in the show notes. Or I don't know, find a therapist you really like, or go on some other retreat, or take some time out, like whatever you need, like keep finding out what you need to feel better. If you're listening to this podcast, there's obviously something that's making you feel overwhelmed, anxious, maybe not motivated, whatever it is. So I invite you to take care of yourself, and I invite you to be in a situation where maybe you have a complaint, maybe you own a clinic and you have employees that you need to like fire or hire, or maybe you have some sickness in your family and you can deal with it and you can like take care of yourself, and you can have moments where it's not all in your head at the same time burning you out, right? That's kind of where I wanted you to get to, that no matter what happens around you, you can be happy, you can be calm, you can feel confident, you feel motivated to get up next day, no matter what's going on, right? And not use whatever's going on in VetMed against yourself, so you can't really justify having a happy life. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to tell you today. Take care of yourself. Listen to what I said about, is there any of these reasons why you're not doing something for yourself so you can better your life in VetMed, and what is holding you back? And like really question the reasons why you would not reach out for help or reach out for a cause or something to make you feel better. You know, what are the reasons for? Do you like those reasons? No, and look at your priorities a bit. So yeah, that's my invitation to you. And I cannot talk enough about the retreat. I know I should talk more about it, but I don't want to feel like a used car salesman. But Chloe from Vet Yogi and I are doing a retreat, and it's in Denmark. It's the first week of July. That I'll put the link in the show notes. And we have early bird pricing until the 6th of April. So if you're interested in that, like definitely show your interest. We'll send you the PDF with all the images and all the info. And it is, I think that is going to be a game changer for so many people. And if you have to overcome a little bit of, I don't really have the time, I shouldn't take that time for myself because I also need to take care of my family, I should spend all my holidays with my kids. If you have a little bit of, I don't want to spend that money on me. I'm not saying you should spend a ton of money on us. That's not it. And it is actually really cheap for what it is. But if you have that inclination to not want to spend money on yourself, like ask yourself why, because you're worth a lot of money. Just like you as a vet with all the knowledge and experience, you are like a walking, bank. You have so much money potential in you because you are a vet, right? You are worth a lot. You have a lot of value in general, even if you don't feel like it. I promise you, you do. So why would you not spend money on yourself? Like, why would you not spend money on like going to expensive restaurant? Or why would you not spend money on, like, if you want to go to hairdressers every 2 weeks so your hair always looks amazing? Or why would you not spend money on expensive skincare for yourself? Like, you are worth it. And why would you not spend money on the retreat? So if that's holding you back, I want you to question it. I don't want you to just come because I'm telling you to, but I want you to feel good and be way aware about your priorities in life. Okay? So that's what I'm going to leave you with. And I hope this sound wasn't too crap. I hope you couldn't hear Bruce's war movie in the background too much. And have a rest of the short week, because today's Thursday. I'm going to upload this straight away. And have the rest of a good week. And I love you all, and take care. Bye.